guys, this is Professor Animazing. So I've kind of decided I'm going to do a bit of a series on how to care for betta fish while I go through the process of breeding my betta fish. I'm probably going to be sharing some different products with everyone on what's good and kind of what's not good, and just some helpful tips and tricks when keeping betta fish, and just some basic requirements that some people may not really realize that betta fish need that they do need. So I'm going to share my research and my knowledge on betta fish with the world while I prepare to breed them. So first, let me give you some background. This fish here that we're looking at, this is Ezekiel. Yes, interesting name. This was my mother's fish. She named him after one of the prophets in the Bible. My mom, very lovely, lovely religious woman. So the only thing is, Ezekiel's kind of a long name, so we've kind of shortened it down to Zeke. Well, my parents and I were all going our separate ways. I was moving out, and they were moving out, and they had a lot of things they had to do to their house, and they weren't home a lot for Zeke. So what ended up happening was the water quality got very bad, and Zeke got very sick, and he refused to eat. And at the time, I had just come back from a trip. I had checked on Zeke, and I was like, man, this fish seriously needs some help. And I was the only one who was currently available to help him. Turns out he had Popeye when I finally figured it out. So after a long and painful process of me not knowing anything about fish at the time, I figured out how to save him, saved him, and now he is a very healthy fish who loves to blow bubbles and things. Which was part of the reason I decided to breed him as well, is because he's very healthy. I don't know if that's the eye right now that had Popeye. This was a few months ago. He's much better now. He's all cured. He can still see out of the eye that he got Popeye with, I'm pretty sure. But it's always going to look a little bit cloudy even after it's been cured. Just because I was on a trip, I didn't get to him in time. But anyway, now he's my fish, and I've done lots of research to figure out how to look after him and make him happy. Where did he go? He loves to chill. Oh yeah, he's through the plant. You can kind of see him. He's in there. He's figured out that this plant is the same color as him, and he loves it. So yeah, let me just first talk about betta living requirements. So betta fish need a minimum of 1 gallon, minimum 1 gallon tank. If you see anything that says 0.7 or 0.5 gallons, please don't put your fish in that. That's a really small space. I know you get them in a little cup, but really, like, that's not fair to your fish. That's not very nice. They need more space than that. Betta fish also naturally in the wild, they live in very clean water because they live in like rice paddies and stuff in Thailand. And that filters the water and it makes it really, really clean. So a filter is a must. Right now I'm using the Tetra Whisper 3i. It's for tanks that are 1 to 3 gallons. This is a 2.5 gallon tank here by Aqueon. This tank came with the Aqueon Mini Bow, which worked for a while. Oh, there he is. But the filter died. Like, it stopped working on me. He's fine, by the way. He's just kind of, he loves to stick himself in the plant, and he'll just take himself out whenever he wants. He's very strong. So yeah, the filter kind of died, and I was like, well, that's great, because I had already spent money on filter cartridges for changing it every month, and etc., etc. So that was when I ended up getting the Tetra Whisper. So this is my first while having it. Hopefully that'll work out. I also want to talk about what heater I'm using. I am using the National Geographic 10-watt heater in the back. That's the black bar you see there with the minimum water level sign. I love National Geographic products. I think they're fantastic. It's National Geographic. I mean, they do their homework, these people. I absolutely love them, and I especially love their heaters. I totally recommend it. They're a little on the pricey side, but if you can afford it, I say go for it. I say totally go for it. Betta fish usually require a heater as well. They are a tropical fish, especially if you're in like a very cold part of your house and you don't really have a place to put them anywhere else. I'm in a basement, so naturally it's kind of cool down here. For whatever reason, the air conditioning seems to just accumulate down here and heat rises, so it's cold down here. So I would never keep my betta fish without a heater. Just some other helpful tips. It's very hard for me to keep live plants, but live plants are so healthy for you to have in your tank. So I have, as you can see kind of in the back here through the castle, the other side of the tank, a live moss ball. Depending on where you get them from, Big Al's Aquarium or PetSmart, they can be anywhere from $3.99 Canadian to $10. And moss balls are great because they're absolutely no maintenance whatsoever. But they're really good for just keeping your fish happy and healthy and with proper water conditions and everything else. The other thing I will point out that I've got in here for my fish, there's this great company that I love called ZooMed, and they do some great products for betta fish. These guys really know what they're talking about. And so they've made a betta hammock, which is this little leaf here that's very close to the surface. Betta fish in the wild very much like to naturally rest near the surface of the water. They have that labyrinth organ, which means that they breathe like oxygen like we do, so they always have to come up every now and then and get some oxygen from the surface, right? So this little hammock that they call it, I'm going to open up the lid so you can see it better, just kind of sticks to the side of the tank like they're in a suction cup, and it kind of keeps them close to the surface, and they can just kind of rest there and chill there like they naturally would in the wild, in between swimming around and kind of having a good time. I surrounded it by a plant. My betta fish loves this plant. Again, this is a National Geographic plant. It feels so real. It's very much made out of fabric. It was an expensive plant. It was like $17. It's usually taller than this, but I trimmed it so it would fit in this tank. But he loves it. He's figured out he's the same color as this plant. You basically can't get him out of here when he's in a bad mood. And I put the betta hammock around it so that he has some privacy. He's very reclusive fish. He likes his privacy, and I want to give it to him, which is why I also have this amazing castle from Walmart. There's tons of little places for him to hide in and swim through, which is great. There's another hole here on the side he likes to chill in sometimes. Yeah, Walmart's a great place for cheap aquarium accessories if you can't afford anything. You can get lots of really cool stuff like this castle. I love it. It's perfect for the fish. The fish loves it. There's so much you can do with it. There's 2 caves to hide in that are quite big on the inside. My betta fish is getting quite big. And hole to swim through. Just, it gives him something to do. So, yeah. So that is that fish. Also, when you're keeping betta fish, it's great to have kind of like a thermometer. Hopefully my camera will focus so you can see the reading. This thermometer is great. It's just one of those cheap little marina thermometers that stick in here. Oh, there we go. And you just kind of, as a quick reference, you just kind of want to make sure that it's either within that green space there or just above. That's usually the temperature that betta fish like. So I keep them in all my betta fish tanks just to make sure that the water is good. So as you can see here, it's just slightly above. It's okay if it gets closer to the 80. You just don't want it to go too much higher than that.